Shalom and welcome back to The Hidden Chosen. I am Hadassah Saiwan and I am back with End Times Prophecy Watch, and we are moving on to part 3. We're going to look at the Anti-Messiah, who is the Anti-Messiah, also known as the false prophet. So in part 2, we did take a look at the Anti-Messiah, how he's going to rise up out of the earth, which we know represent people. So he's going to be a person that will be possessed by a Satan. And so let's get started. Let us delve deeper into the truth about the Anti-Messiah to understand who this evil character will be based on the scriptures. We're not going by what other people are saying, right? We're not going by what the false prophets and prophetesses and whatever they call themselves say, because they have it all wrong. They have it wrong about the empire. They have it wrong about the false prophet, the anti-Messiah. They're already pointing their fingers at particular people who are hated by many people. So he cannot be the anti-Messiah. They cannot be the anti-Messiah. Each and every one of them that have been chosen by foolish people calling themselves prophets and prophetesses and apostles and whatever titles they give themselves. If you can point your finger to a particular man and say that is the anti-Messiah, know this, you are wrong. He is hiding behind the scenes. He is here, but he is hiding behind the scenes because it is not his time to rise up yet. And when people behold him, he will be an unfamiliar face. He will not be a person that you already know from the news media, social media, what have you. He will be a brand new face on the block. All right? Know that. And that's why he will be loved by the inhabitants on the earth. Okay? There are many speculations amongst Christians and even our brethren as to who this person is, based on erroneous understanding, teachings, false prophecies, and popular opinions. If anyone thinks that this evil entity is well known to the public, then this is mega mistake number 1. He is not known. When he emerged from the shadows, he will be a new kid on the block. The new kid on the block. Many people are pointing their fingers to specific persons who are either ex-presidents or other political figures or that religious leader in the Vatican who are always in the mainstream media news. Although these speculations are far from the truth, the real truth is that this man of wickedness will have great political power, even a familial connection to many of the ex-presidents. Yet at the same time, he will show himself to be a strong religious leader as well. So he's going to encompass all the different sectors of peoples on this earth, either politically inclined, religiously inclined, whatever. He is going to be, he's going to be able to affiliate himself with all groups of people. This will enable the anti-Messiah to cross boundaries in order to attract many people from all spectrums of society. He is going to be a magnificent person, charismatic, beautiful to behold, beautiful speech, speaking many languages. All right? This sinful creature will have even greater power than that of well-known and powerful leaders combined. Yet he will come into this power only after being possessed by a Satan. So this man that will be the anti-Messiah is not yet possessed by the Satan. He will become possessed when Hamashiach breaks seal number 5. That's why he is in the background, waiting for his time to rise up, waiting for the green light from Allah Hayam Yahweh. When that seal is broken, that's the green light. This anti-Messiah will also have the family background, connecting him to the powerful families on the earth. But it will be Satan's power that will ultimately put him ahead of the pack of rats, the Nephilim bloodline that are running this world today. So he's going to be the most powerful man on this earth compared to who you see today. Even the 1% of the wicked agents of the Satans, he's going to be more powerful than all of them combined. They're going to be they're going to humble themselves to him, submit under him. Instead of looking at a person, we will look at the character of this person and his personality, and clearly we will see that based on our findings, they will not match anyone currently known to the public. So we cannot look at who this person could possibly be because he is in hiding. He is in the shadows. He is not known. He's not familiar. Even when he comes forward, you're not going to say, I didn't even think that it could be him. No, you will not know who he is. You will not recognize him. All right? He will be an unfamiliar face. So instead of trying to determine who the person could be, we're going to look at the character and his personality, so that when this person finally rises up and claim that he's able to fix all the problems in the world, you will know this is he. All right. Bearing in mind that although he may not be known to us, does not mean he is not already here, because he is here, but in the shadows waiting for his time to rise up. The prophet Danayaal has given us some clues as to this evil personality and his evil personality and his evil character. So Danayaal, the book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 32. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their Allah Hayam shall be strong and do exploits. So already we see something about his character. All right? At the beginning of this prophecy by Danayaal, he was letting us know the history behind Alexander the Great and his demise, the rise of his 4 generals, and the warfare between the two, the king of the north against the king of the south. Yes, we can track this in our history, but what we have to understand is that prophecy can also be twofold, and the middle portion of this prophecy helps us to see the true nature of a leader possessed by a Satan, even though it was someone from the past. This information is still very relevant for us today, of prophecies by the prophets of old to show its fulfillment in his day. So we have to be able to understand prophecy is not one-time fulfillment. Sometimes they're twofold or threefold fulfillment in their events. All right? So when we look at this here, Danayaal chapter 11 verse 32, we see something about him. He is going to be wicked. And he is going to go against the covenant of the Most High Yahweh and the people who belong to him, the people that are in covenant with him. And how will he win people over to his side? He's going to corrupt the people on the earth by flatteries. He's going to have a smooth, slick tongue, which is also forked, by the way. Serpentine tongue. But only the people that know Allah Hayam, they'll be able to stand against him. And they say here, and do exploits. We're going to discover more about what those exploits are when we look at the next study, which is looking at the heads of the first beast, which is the beast empire number 7. All right, let's go on. Okay. The first thing that we have to understand about the anti-Messiah is that he will not be a fool. Okay, so my computer, sometimes it sticks with the slides. So I'm just going to go back here because it was taking a while to load up. So now hopefully it will load up this time around. So he's not going to be a fool, as we see how some people are portrayed as fools, even though they're in high positions in government. But he will be highly educated, a smooth talker, so much so that he will corrupt by flatteries. That's how he's going to get people to sway under his rulership. They're going to want to do everything that he says to do. They're going to want to mimic how he dresses, how he looks, because he's going to be so suave. So let's read on. Let's read on. He will come against the covenant of Allah Hayam, and this will have to be the true worship of Ha'aba and his people, the northern kingdom, who will be his worshippers. Because remember, when he rises up on the earth, speaking of the anti-Messiah, the southern kingdom is already gone. So the only people that are left that will be in covenant with Allah Hayam Yahweh will be the northern kingdom. All right? The rest of the world, except the Gentiles who belong to Allah Hayam, will be corrupted, defiled by his flatteries. He will lead the people away from the worship of Allah Hayam to pagan worship, the worship of the image of the beast. As I've stated in the previous studies, the northern kingdom will war against this anti-Messiah and the beast empire, and they will inflict some damage, but these beasts will prevail against them. Let's look at Danayaal chapter 11 verse 33. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. So there will be some of our brethren who will understand what's going on, and they will be the ones who will instruct the others that don't understand what's going on. Yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity and by spoil many days. So for 3.5 years, our northern kingdom brethren will fall by the sword and by flame. They're going to burn them, and they're going to take them captive and destroy them there in captivity. They're not going to keep them prisoners. They're going to destroy them when they capture them. All right, verse 34. Now when they shall fall, they shall be holpen with a little help. So that means that Allah Hayam Yahweh is going to give them enough strength to bear up under these two beasts so that they are not annihilated. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries. The northern kingdom will wage war against the two beasts, while at the same time Allah Hayam will raise up leaders who will teach his people the truth about his kingdom. Although many will fall due to this war, Allah Hayam will help them. Otherwise, these two beast would annihilate them. And yet many of the Gentiles who will also want to fight against these beasts, but will not have the strength to do so, will cling to the northern kingdom, as Allah will give the northern kingdom some strength to fight. Let's look at Danayaal chapter 11 verse 35. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. So that's why seal number 5 lines up with the northern kingdom being martyred, which is the time of Yaakob's trouble. Okay? This entire verse speaks volumes because it lets us know that the northern kingdom brethren will understand who they are. They will be awakened. Once we are taken off the earth and they see who is taken off the earth, this will be their time of awakening. And who Allah is to them, and will choose martyrdom, as Allah had promised the martyrs of the southern kingdom under the altar when the fifth seal was opened. So when the fifth seal was opened, there were the martyrs under the altar. That was the southern kingdom that were martyred all along the ages. And they're asking, they're crying out, how much longer are you going to revenge? Are you going to avenge those who persecuted us? And white robes were given to them and tell them to rest for a little while until the number of their fellow brethren who are just like them be fulfilled, meaning that will be martyred. Now I'm paraphrasing, okay? They will be martyred just as they were martyred. So just like the southern kingdom were martyred, so the northern kingdom must go through this process. This is what's going to refine them. This is what's going to try them. And this is what is going to cause them to choose which side they're going to be on, whether to worship Allah Yahweh or to worship the beast. All right, this is separating the rebels. There will be some rebels who will not worship the beast, but yet they will not worship Allah Yahweh. They think they're in this for themselves, for their family, for their children. Okay, let's read on. The northern kingdom must be purged with this war, separating the rebels from the righteous. We know that this prophecy is set for the not so distant future based on what it says, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. So that's the future. And for us, it's not that far away. For Danayaal, it was a long time away. Now let us look more at the characteristics of this evil beast man, as we have established that this portion of prophecy in Danayaal is set for the end times, and it is about the Antimessiah and the war against the northern kingdom. So let's look at Danayaal chapter 11 verse 36. And the king shall do according to his will. And the king speaking of here is a leader, the anti-Messiah / false prophet. And he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god. Remember, gods are fallen angels. And this is a Satan, which is the equivalent of a general who is above the other fallen angels. There are only 5 of them. And the head, Satan, is Gadriel. He's the one that will possess the beast empire. He is too big to be to be in one man's body. He got to possess an empire that is a combination of peoples. All right, because people make up an empire. So this anti-Messiah is going to exalt himself and magnify himself above every god. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again to make sure that this slide does show up. Okay. And shall speak marvelous things against Allah and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. That means there's a time appointed for these beasts to rule on the earth. They're given only 3.5 years. So they're going to do their worst in those 3.5 years. For that is determined shall be done. All right, so that should be determined, meaning their destruction will be done. The destruction of the beast empire and the bringing down of this anti-Messiah. All right, because Hamashiach is the one who is going to destroy this anti-Messiah when he comes again in when he comes again to rule on the earth as king for the 1,000-year reign, for his 1,000-year reign. Okay, verse 37. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. So right here should tell you everything you need to know about this anti-Messiah. And when you compare the statement made by Danayaal and look at the yahoos around the world that people are pointed to and calling the anti-Messiah or false prophet, you know that cannot be them. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers. So obviously his fathers will be the Nephilim, bloodline, whoever they are, the families that he has come from. They're going to have their gods. Remember, their gods will be that taught them the secrets of heaven. So he is not going to regard none of the fallen angels. He doesn't have to, because he's a Satan. He's higher than them. He's bigger than them. He's not going to have any desire for women because he is so self-loving. He's going to look in the mirror and love himself. He's too good for a woman. He's too good for a man. And yet both men and women are going to love him because he's going to be able to attract with his beauty. He's going to be a beautiful man. He's going to be very fluid in the sense that he's going to be very suave and very charismatic and beautiful to look at. And he's not going to be like what they call toxic male. No, he's going to be one of those soft kind of men, right? Almost effeminate. In fact, not almost, going to be soft and beautiful, and yet he's going to be attractive, because that's the image that they're pushing out there in the world right now, causing women to love men with painted lips. You got men out there with red lips and very soft features, and girls and young and women are falling head over heels in love with these very soft looking men. Back in the day, it was the rugged male, the one the one that had the rugged good looks. But no, women are changing from that now to the soft looking males. They have soft features, because the ones that have the soft features are actually inverts. They're not really males. And then you got the women that look tough because they're not really women. They are inverts. All right, male that have changed themselves into females and vice versa. So you know that he's not going to desire women. So he's not going to have a wife. He's not going to be married. He's not going to be divorced. He loved himself so much that he would fall in love with himself by looking in the mirror. He has no desire for women. So right there off the bat, you can cross everybody off the list. Don't worry about the one in the Vatican. That one looks, too many people hate that one. So he's off the list too. All right. Nor regard any God. Why? Because gods are fallen angels, and he is above them. So why would he worship any of them? They have to come and worship him, right? For he shall magnify himself above all. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver and with precious stones and pleasant things. So we're going to come back to this verse in a little bit, all right? Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. The personality and character of this beast king is quite clear. He will be haughty, prideful, self-indulgent, filled with self-praise, and he will hate Allah Hayam. He will hate anyone that loves Allah Hayam. This host body will come from one of the old money families, but he will not serve their gods, as he already will himself as a god and will treat himself as such. The God of forces which he will honor will be the Satan that he will be possessed by. Do you get that? So in his estate, because he's a host body, all right, possessed by a Satan. So the God of forces is the Satan that will possess him. That's the only God that he will honor, because it is due to him and his power that he has that high elevation, that above all the other fallen angels, to be like a god and to be the king on the earth. All right? The God of forces which he will honor will be the Satan that he will be possessed by, who will give him great power. Therefore, he will worship himself. Because the Satan is in him. So that's what I'm saying. Even though he is honoring the God of forces, which is the Satan, that is going to be inverted to himself, turned upon himself. All right? He will worship himself because the Satan inside is receiving that worship. All right? That Satan inside will receive all that worship. He will be the God that his fathers knew not, because he came out from the shadows as a host body, then to be possessed by a Satan. So therefore his fathers would not know anything about him. They didn't even know that he was the host body, that he will be the host body. They know that there was something up with him, but they didn't know exactly what he will become. You see, that they don't know everything, you know. They don't know everything. And he will relish gold, silver, precious stones, and pleasant things. For as long as he acknowledged the Satan within him through pagan practices, he, the Antimessiah, will grow in power to be like a god. He will become the strange god. All right? This Antimessiah is already on the scene, but working in the background, abiding his time, waiting to rise up. He will divide up the earth into 10 territories and establish the 10 kings over these territories, although he will dethrone 3 of them to make their territories for himself, to take their territories for himself. This internal struggle amongst him and the kings will be Allah Hayam's doing, to destabilize this kingdom, even though it will be a powerful empire. So even though they're the 10 kings, he's going to try to usurp the 3 because of their particular areas that they're governing over. He wants those three particular areas. And that is all Allah Hayyam's doing, to destabilize them. They're not going to be sitting happy ruling over the earth. So when it says here, and he shall cause them to rule over many and shall divide the land for gain, it is through them, him and the empire, that will divide up the whole earth into 10 territories for their gain, for their control, for their rulership. All right, to have dominion over every country on this earth. All right. Now that we have looked at the personality and the character of this anti-Messiah, can you see anyone on this earth currently fulfilling these points? He will love himself so much that he will not have a need for a woman. And this will include a wife, a girlfriend, whatever, even a man friend. He's not going to love anybody but himself. He will be single, suave, effeminate, as he will possess both gender qualities. He'll be soft and pretty and beautiful and yet handsome at the same time. He will be highly intelligent, charismatic, fluent in a great number of languages, cunning, affluent, meaning very wealthy, and an excellent orator with no need of a teleprompter. You know, like how some people struggle to speak even when they have a teleprompter in front of them? No, he's not going to need anything like that. He's going to speak, and the words that are coming off his lips will be like gold, will be like silk, smooth and enticing, sweet to the ears. Physically, he will be striking, attractive to both men and women, so striking that he will win the hearts of people with his gay, smiley, sparkling smile. He will smile, and all the people will be swooning under him. Okay, he's going to be very attractive, and both men and women will be drawn to him. As you look at the buffoons in politics, can any of them fit within one of these qualities that I have listed? The anti-Messiah must fit within all of the qualities that I've listed. And there's not one politician on this earth that fulfill at least one of those qualities. Because if they're loved by one group of people, they're hated by another. You understand? All right. Obama is not the anti-Messiah. The Pope is not the anti-Messiah. Trump is not the anti-Messiah. Trump's son-in-law is not the anti-Messiah. And these are the key ones that they have pointed and said, oh yeah, this person has to be the anti-Messiah. None of them fit the description of their character and of its character and personality. Not one of these people that I've called fit within that. A lot of these same people, they can't even speak properly. How many languages do they know? One. This anti-Messiah, he'll be able to speak to all kinds of peoples and all different languages: French, Spanish, Portuguese, English, of course, Hebrew, Arabic. He'll be able to speak just about all the main languages that you see on this earth. All right? So Trump's son-in-law is not the anti-Messiah, to name a few of the people chosen for this position. When the anti-Messiah rises up, the world will sit up, take notice, and fall utterly in love, as he will be that striking. Oh yeah. And remember, the world is beginning to reel back and forth with all the destruction that is going on upon it. Wars and rumors of wars and all these different calamities occurring worldwide. All right? So people will be only too happy to receive a person who is so attractive, so intelligent, okay, that seem to have their best interests at heart, because he's going to come and corrupt with flatteries. He's going to tell them things that their ears will want to hear. He will come and bring comfort, all right, so that he can win them over to his side because they believe everything that he just said. And so the world has not yet seen this anti-Messiah, but he's coming. He is coming. Now, I did a more detailed study about this man of sin. I will try to find it. I have to rack my brain to find out which study it was. And if I can find it, I will post it. All right. So that's the ending of part 3. Let's finish with the blessing for Yasha'al taken from Ba Madabar chapter 6 verses 24 to 26. That's Numbers chapter 6 verses 24 to 26. Yabarakak Yahweh wa Yashamarak. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. Ya'ar Yahweh panayo alayak wa yachanak. May Yahweh cause his face to shine upon you and have favor upon you. Yasha'a Yahweh panayo alayak wa yasham lak shalom. May Yahweh lift up his face upon you and give you peace. And now we will recite the command that we were instructed to recite when we lie down, when we get up, when we go out, and when we come in, taken from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. That's the Barayam chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. Shama'o Yashba'al Yahweh Alahayana Yahweh Ahad wa Ahabath Ath Yahweh Alahayak Bakal Babak wa Bakal Napashat wa Bakal Ma'adak. Hear, O Yashba'al, Yahweh our Alahayam is one Yahweh, and you shall love Yahweh your Alahayam with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And with that I will say, Shalom, Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Abba Yah.